Hey guys! So I am here today with a different sort of video. So if you watch my plan with me on this past Monday, I did mention that I have pet chinchillas and I thought I would show them to you guys. I keep looking at my lap because there's one on my lap. She's kind of freaking out a little bit. What are you doing? So a little bit of information on chinchillas. As a pet, chinchillas are a huge commitment, and I don't want to make this video without disclaiming any of this stuff. They can live for, in captivity, pets can live for 10 to 20 years, the average being 15. So that's a huge commitment. If you are a parent or a kid or anyone, and you know, if you have like an 8-year-old and you want to get them a chinchilla, that chinchilla is still going to be alive when they're in college. They might move away, and it's a lifetime commitment. Like, it's a longer commitment than a dog. They can be expensive. People always say they cost a lot of money. I don't think they do. You just have to be smart about how you go about getting stuff for them. If you're buying everything from a pet store, yes, it's going to be expensive. Their food can be pricey there, but look online. I get 50 pounds of food for, I want to say $80 online, and it lasts forever. A huge thing with chinchillas is they don't have a way of cooling themselves off. So humans, we sweat, dogs pant, stuff like that. Chinchillas do not have a way of cooling themselves off. If they get too hot, they can end up getting heat stroke. They can die. It's just, you have to make sure you are able to give them the kind of temperature they need. They need air conditioning. They need to be kept cool. Our house doesn't have central air conditioning, and so we have to make sure when we put in our window air conditioning units, we put one into their room that they live in. That's another thing you have to accommodate, is how much space they take up. Their cage is huge. I want to say it's like close to 6 feet tall and like 4 feet wide. It's a big cage, and it's a good size for them. Technically, the cage that I have is suitable for 4 chinchillas, but it doesn't really matter to me. It's the more space they have, the better, in my opinion, because you know, we can't take them out every single day and let them exercise in a playpen. We definitely have them come out a few times a week, but they need a lot of space to run and jump, and that's what their cage provides. Oh, they're rodents. So their teeth are constantly growing, the same as rabbits, so they always need something to chew on. They eat wood. I've seen people, especially on Instagram, that have like free-range chinchillas that just like run around their house. Mine could never do that. My house would be destroyed. When we lived at my parents' house, or I lived at my parents' house with them, and we did playtime in the bathroom, they would chew on the door, they would chew on the moldings, they would chew on the like vanity cabinet. Yeah, I could not let them run around freely. It's kind of a misconception. A lot of things will say they're nocturnal. They're not nocturnal. I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called, but basically they're most active around dawn and dusk. And you'll definitely hear that when we're trying to go to sleep at night. They're running around playing, but when you get up in the morning, they're passed out completely. And then in the morning time, they start to get up a little bit, and then they spend a lot of the day sleeping. I feel like I should have made a script for this. There's so many things I should probably be saying, but that's basically it. I don't know. So my chinchillas, I didn't get as babies. I got them when they were a little bit older, so I don't know all information on them. I don't know exactly when they were born. I don't know their exact ages. I have rough estimates of how old they are. I have never had to take them to the vet. We have had to take, my parents also have 2 chinchillas. We've had to take one of theirs to the vet before, and it surprisingly wasn't that expensive, but it was just antibiotics we had to get for her. So chinchillas are exotic animals. There aren't very many vets that can see them, that are trained to see them. There's only one in my area that I know of that can see them. There might be more, but that's one thing you definitely want to look at if you're interested in getting one. do your research, find out if there's a vet in your area or where the closest vet is that can look at them. And like I said, it can get pricey because they are exotic animals. So this is Chili. So she is about 7, I want to say. So she's a little bit older. She's not a baby, but she's still super playful and not very thrilled about being held. They don't like to be held very often. But she is a standard gray. So this is the normal color of chinchillas. Anything else is considered a mutation. And so one that looks like her would be the least expensive if you're buying them from a breeder. Anything else gets more pricey because those colors are achieved by breeding. So breeding one this color with a different color, etc. Down the line you start getting those different colors. Chinchillas come in all kinds of colors. You can get ones that they consider like pink or like violet colored, so they're like a white and gray, but together it looks like a purpley hue. So another thing about them is they are pretty much hypoallergenic because they're the softest mammal in the world. They cannot get fleas because their fur is so dense, which also has to do with how they take baths. You could not get your chinchilla wet because their fur is too dense. If they get wet right down to the skin, they won't be able to get dry. So they take dust baths. It's basically like dry shampoo. If you know how dry shampoo works, it just absorbs the oils. So that's how they get clean. And they have to have dust baths 1 to 2 times a week. I don't give it to them right in their cage. I've seen some people put dust baths right in their cage and like let them use it whenever. So yeah, that was Chili. And she's getting kind of grumpy because she doesn't like to be held. So I'm going to go put her back and oh, I have fur everywhere. I'm going to go get the other one. So this is Pepper. She's quite a bit smaller. I don't know if that's coming off very well without having them side by side. But she is a black velvet. So that just means she's black, but she has like a white belly. So that's her coloring. And yeah, like I said, she's quite a bit smaller. She isn't a baby. She's an adult as well. I think she's about 5? No, 3? Like I said, I don't know their exact ages. I believe when I got them, Chili was 5 and Pepper was 1. So yeah, Pepper should be 3. I've had them for about 2.5 years now. And like I was saying, chinchillas, you can't really have allergies to them. They don't really have dander. Their fur doesn't really shed. The only thing you can really be super allergic to is the dust. Like I said, they bathe in dust, so that can definitely irritate allergies. I have asthma, and cleaning the cage, I can't really do the first step of it. Ryan has to do that, where you take all the bedding out and like shake it out. Ryan always does that part because it irritates my lungs too much. This was Pepper. Cute little black velvet. So yeah, that she is much better at being held than Chili is. So like I was saying, you can't really be allergic to them, but if this picks up, you can see my arm has like little welts on it right now. I do react to their scratches. Like when you're trying to pick them up, they're like little claws come out because they're trying to get a grip because you're lifting them up into the air. Especially mine, they're really squirmy because they don't really like to be held. So I do get little welts from their scratches and they are itchy. That's why I'm wearing long sleeves. I was wearing short sleeves and that's why I have those welts right now. I don't know if that's just me. I don't know if other people get reactions like that. I don't think Ryan does. So I mean, it's not like the end of the world. I'm not gonna die from that. It's just a little bit itchy, like when you get a mosquito bite. But like I said, you can't really be allergic to them. I don't know what else to say about them. I'm gonna give you guys a quick cage tour and then yeah, kind of show you what they live in, how big their cage is. Like I said, you really shouldn't have, like the cage I have is 2-tiered and they could live comfortably in 1 tier, but there's no sense in getting just a 1 tier when it's just another level on top. I do kind of want to get a 3rd level. So with that cage, you can get an attachment. It can be like 3 levels high. I kind of have a desire to get a 3rd level just to have more room for them to jump up high and stuff. Just, I don't know, just for more room for them to play, but they don't need it. The cage they're in is more than big enough for them. The only thing I don't have that is highly recommended is a wheel, but chinchilla safe wheels can be pricey. They're usually around $100. Wheels that you find in pet stores are not actually good for them, even the metal ones, because usually the metal ones are like mesh and their tiny little toes can get stuck in there, and their legs are really fine. I don't know if you could tell that on the camera, but their legs are just little and could snap very easily. And like I said, vet bills would be very expensive for that, especially because there aren't that many vets that can see them. Another thing that they always advertise for chinchillas are balls. Balls are not safe for any animals. Those restrict oxygen, and especially with chinchillas, they can overheat and they're very easily and die. One website, I think it's the Canadian Chinchilla Rescue, calls them death balls. Yeah, not recommended for chinchillas, not safe. Definitely would never buy one of those for mine. I mean, they might seem like they're having fun, but they're just looking for a way out because they don't like it. So anyways, I'm gonna do a quick cage tour. Okay, so this is a full overview of their cage. This is actually like the exact same as a Critter Nation, but it's not a Critter Nation. It's like a no-name version of that cage. It's by the brand called All Things Living, which I believe is like PetSmart's brand. So like I said, it's the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure it costs almost the same amount, but as far as I know, like, it's harder to get Critter Nations and Ferret Nations and stuff like that in Canada. Usually you have to order them from the States, and then you end up paying a lot more in shipping and all of that. But like I said, this is the exact same dimensions, design, everything. So we just got this one because it was there at the store, and yeah. And if you are interested in cages like this, I would definitely keep your eye out for sales. We did pay full price, which was about $300, but I have seen them go on sale like anywhere from like $20 to $50 off. But I mean, any savings better than no savings. But anyways, I'm gonna move the camera closer and give you an overview of each level separately. Okay, so this is the upper level of their cage. Most of the stuff in the cage is from a website called Zoe and Lilo's Toy Box. The owner is really great, and she makes everything, like all of the fleece items you see in the cage she makes. So one thing about this cage and any chinchilla cage is you really have to customize it. There isn't a cage on the market that's perfect for them. Like, although the Critter Nation or Ferret Nation is the most popular cage for chinchillas, it is not actually good for them once you first get it. So the pans, the large pans at the bottom, those are actually aftermarket pans that I bought. I believe I got them off of a website called Flowertown Chinchillas. There's also a company called Bass Equipment that makes pans that are very popular. But the original pans are plastic, and plastic is not good for your chinchillas. They're rodents, they're gonna eat it. Even though we only had the plastic in the cage for a little while, there was already teeth marks all over it. And they're gonna end up swallowing that plastic and getting really sick. Like, humans can't eat plastic, neither can chinchillas. It's not good for them. So anyways, the other thing that it came with was, normally there would be like a big half pan there with a plastic pan on it as well. I've completely removed that from the top to make more room for other stuff. Okay, so one great thing about this cage is the doors are huge and they both open up completely, so it makes cleaning really easy. As you can see on the door here, I have two ledges. One of these is just, the small one is called a perch, I believe, and then this other one is a 6-inch ledge. At the back, there's a 12-inch ledge there and there as well, and a couple more perches. in a chinchilla cage, you're supposed to have a lot of ledges and perches and things for them to jump on to make it more like their natural habitat. You don't want it to just be a flat, boring cage. They can jump really high. So right here they have a hammock. They don't go in there too often. This is called a cylinder house. So the door is actually off to the side, but that's where Chili likes to sleep right now. They are just made of fleece, which doesn't fray. However, if you see the little top parts, let me move the camera up a little bit. So on those little hooks, they do like to sit in that top area and chew on those. So I think we have 4 cylinder houses, and at least 3 of them have had like the little loops that hold them onto the hooks chewed through, but I just fixed that with binder clips. So if we go to the lower part, you can see Pepper being destructive. So in the back right there, that's a pillow. It's called a Cuddle Buddy. They don't use that too often. Pepper used to use them, but she kind of doesn't right now. So in the back there is a Pyrex dish that we use as a litter box. So neither of them are really well litter trained. Chili is pretty good sometimes, but she kind of pees everywhere. Pepper really isn't good at using the litter box at all. The litter that we use, I get it in the bird aisle. It's by the brand KT, and it's like dried corn kernels. Then on that side is a chinchilla, which is basically just a marble slab. Chinchillas can't cool themselves, so they really like that in the summertime. But to be completely honest, they in the summer tend to just rip up the fleece bedding and lay on the metal pan. I don't know, they like that over the chinchilla. And then there's a couple little blue dishes. Those we usually just put treats in. I have some of their little wooden toys in there right now, even though there's a pile of like wood right there that they've been destroying all night. And then over on this side is their food dish. So it is secured to the cage wall. That way they can't throw it around. They will knock it over if it's not secured. On the side is their water bottles. So they need to have clean filtered water. And anyway, so the bedding, like I said, we use fleece because it saves money and it's a lot less messy. And the way I attach it, you can see right there, is just with little metal binder clips, and I just take the tabs off. Otherwise, they pull them up. I mean, they pull them up anyways, but it's harder for them to pull them up if they don't have the tabs on them. Okay guys, so this is the bottom level. So this is what I was talking about. There's still this like half pan. We haven't taken that one out. They do really spend a lot of time on that level. That fleece bedding we made when we first got them. And you can see Chili is destroying something right now, showing off. And then up there, the only thing on that level is that bed. That's just from PetSmart. I don't always have that in their cage. They usually just chew at it and not really like use it as a bed. There is one little, the 6-inch perch right there. They don't sit on that one too often. It's more for getting from the top to the bottom level. Also on this level we have this big hammock. So this is what Rachel, the owner of Zoe and Levo's Toy Box, she calls that a bunk bed hammock. I have never really seen them go in the bottom part, but they will sit on that top part quite often and sleep there. There's another Pyrex dish litter box there. There's another chinchilla over there as well. And then right here we have a tube. So you can buy the actual tube that's on the inside and the tube covers. You can also buy hardware to screw the tube onto like the side of a cage. I did have a tube that had bedding that matched this pink and black square pattern. I had one of those screwed onto the wall of the upper part of the cage and they completely destroyed it. They completely chewed through all the bedding through the tube. It was so wrecked. I had to throw it out. But I just find it odd that when it was screwed onto the side of the cage, they destroyed it. But sitting on the floor like that, they never bite at it. They'll run through it for sure, but they never ever chew on it. My parents actually have 2 chinchillas, and theirs always destroy the tubes. What Chili's standing on right there, that's just like a wooden block. It came with them, like when I got them from someone. That's pretty much the only thing that I kept that was in their cage from before. And then the only other thing is the hay holder on the side. So it is wood. They do chew on it. They've had it for quite a while and they haven't destroyed it. You kind of have to base what you put your hay in based off of your chinchilla. So mine don't really chew on that. My parents got the same one for their chinchillas, and within 2 days they had completely eaten pretty much all of the slats on the front, and it was useless. It couldn't hold hay anymore. So I don't know. It's pretty inexpensive, but just bear in mind every chinchilla is different and every chinchilla is going to treat everything differently. But that's pretty much it for a cage overview. It's kind of always changing. You do want to keep things pretty fresh. Like when we clean their cage, we put them in a playpen and then put them back in. And every time they kind of like run around and explore a little bit. And when you put new things in their cage or take things out, they definitely notice. Like I was saying, when I had the tube screwed to the wall, Chili used to always sit on top of it. And when I took it out, she kept trying to jump to it and like realizing it was gone. But it is nice to switch it up. Eventually I do want to get rid of this. I've been thinking about doing like, seeing if I can put 3 of the 12-inch ledges in like a U shape. That's ideally what I want to try and do. I just need to buy 3 of the 12-inch ledges. Oh, I didn't mention this before, but along the back you see that purple dot pattern. That is just leftover fleece from when we originally got them and made like this bedding. And I've actually just used binder clips to clip it up to the top of the cage, and it's just, it works as a backing, mostly just to kind of contain the mess, but also because sometimes if they pee really close to a corner, their pee ends up going outside of the cage and dripping down the cage, so it just protects the wall. They can't chew on the wall, their pee can't get on the wall. So anyways guys, that was the cage tour. That was me doing my chinchillas. And yeah, if you guys want to see more videos like this, more videos about chinchillas or chinchilla stuff, or maybe an updated cage tour in the future, let me know in the comments. Also, my chinchillas have an Instagram account. I will have that linked down below. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty bad at remembering to post on there, but I'm gonna try and get better at it. I really am. But anyways, if you guys want to follow their Instagram, it'll be down below. You can see photos of them regularly, semi-regularly. But anyways guys, don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!